welcome back. We are still trying to wrap our heads around this whole rugby season, let alone just this weekend, a wild night in Dublin. It saw the Boks bully Ireland up front. There's no other way of talking about it. They dominated the scrum from start to finish, and they still leave a scoreline that barely reflects the gap between the two sides. I think Ireland also deserve massive kudos for how they stood up. 5 yellows, a red, not ours, a disallowed try at almost 20 minutes, parked inside the Irish 22, and that was quite impressive to watch in itself. But it was chaos, a little bit of control, missed chances, all wrapped into one beautiful test that confounded, I think, the coaches more than anyone else. We are joined by the lads, Adrian Endley, sports presenter at Good Hope FM, Warren LeBrew, rugby enthusiast, and Ryan Grant, rugby commentator and journalist, and they are here to help us understand what is going on. I had opted to just play memes of old Australian and New Zealand rugby players talking about how good South Africa is at the moment, and that's enough for me, just to see that. Let's start down this end, Aids. When we say physical dominance, this is the Springbok. If you want to write or put in a little encyclopedic image of the Springboks, this game kind of typifies that level of physicality.
Yeah, I think people maybe thought that this was out of our game, given how good we've been on like our attack and with
our
some
expansive side, yeah.
But no, we proved we're there to mess people up. We are there to be physical. We're there to get down and dirty. And this was a clinic from the Springboks. In those scrums, just an absolute demolition.
And it must be quite difficult to ref a match like that when there's an imbalance, because you want to create something. It was loaded. We went in with the card question was loaded up there already. So glad that the referees clearly are back on the same page. For a ref trying to make his way through a game like this, it becomes so important that he keeps control, and he did seem to keep control. Did you expect it to be like this, to be this gritty, to be this hectic, and still to feel as dominant as we do? Because the scoreline wasn't as reflective, I think.
No, I completely agree with you. I think the scoreline could have got quite ugly. Normally, one assumes when you get yellow cards, points are always coming straight after.
It's like a power play, yeah?
And the amount of times we were on the 5 metre, choosing the scrum after the scrum after the scrum, scrum penalty, yellow card, scrum penalty, yellow card. It felt like there was just a bubble that was going to burst, and we'd put 40 on them at some point. So, as you said, massive kudos to Ireland. The way they hung in there was incredible, I thought. The scoreline might not reflect it, because at the end of the day, they lost at home. We broke the Dublin curse. Fantastic. But getting to Matt Carley, the ref, I thought that he could have maybe just done a bit of a better job at keeping the pace. I thought it was very slow. And for someone who maybe doesn't watch rugby like we all do, they might have found it a bit boring.
He must have known that every ex-referee, every technical expert was going to be picking this apart afterwards. So this became more than just a game of rugby. From the Irish perspective, what do you think they are most proud of? Because I think their coach was left, and even the first round of questions kind of hit him hard. Where he was like, what are you talking about? Did you watch the same game?
Yes, I think going back to what you said, Graham, I mean, the coach said after the game, he said it was a brave, defiant effort from Ireland, and I say exactly that. I mean, the amount of steals Caelan Doris in the 7s and 8s got on our own try line, and Jamie Gibson Park clearing 25 metres, it was the most frustrating thing for me, never mind Rassie and the team. So, yeah, again, kudos to Ireland. Incredible, gutsy, hearty defence.
And there is no Irish person out there that's taking that from you. It just feels like we're just rubbing it in even more, which is what I was going for. We couldn't find our way through, but then we knew we would. Sasha, brilliant. I think Malcolm stood out in a brilliant game, so kudos to him, and I love the way the Springboks just rallied to him. But maybe good to have a test when you can't unlock that defence, when you've got to figure out a different way, a different rhythm, and not lose the core. You talk about the expansive, and Sasha is very much attached to that for me. Yeah. This felt like a balance of both. Get the basics right, and then you earn the right to be able to be expansive.
Yeah, I think we definitely knew that we were strong in the scrums. We were going that route a lot.
I think that's the strongest our scrum has ever been, to be honest.
100%. I think I would have liked to see it, but because there were times where we could have chosen to, pass it out wide, sort of get our wings involved, but we just sort of kept on going for the scrum, which, as we saw in the end, worked very well for us. But it was a good balance, as you mentioned. We showed, look, we're not just good at being physical, we can play expansive, we can do all these things. And Ireland were a proper test. For as much as we threw at them, they absorbed a lot of that. So at the end, to actually win in the way that we did is very impressive.
So Ireland can feel like the second best team in the world right now, proudly so. I'm sorry, I know I'm struggling this morning, but we took a lot of flack in the week up, in the build-up week, you know. Is this now the conundrum that we've got to face going into the World Cup, or should we be happy about this two full-strength side situation that we have now? Is that the team? I know a couple of injuries. How are we feeling about this building up towards the World Cup now? Because we've kind of ticked every box and we've proven, Sasha's proven, I'm not going to say we, Sasha has proven that he can play both sides of that. He can play the expansive free game, score 50 points. He can also keep it tight and do what needs to be done. What is going through Russie's mind now, other than the Guinness or whatever was left over from the weekend?
I think Russie's delighted. He's got his double thumbs up to the Irish crowd. So, no, but to answer the question, look, I think every single player that he's trialled in a position has stood up. Even a guy like Buan Fenter, who I think had a lot of question marks, scored a try, scrummed incredibly. I thought might have even been man of the match with the way he played. He wasn't at the end of the day, but incredible performance from him. Guy like Sasha we spoke about, Kobus Ranach, it's all the guys who we've seen Faf play for how many years. Everyone who's he's tried to mould into a position has really taken to it excellently.
Flourished. Damien,
and
come on.
as you say, we've got a full A team, a full B team. I'm sure we can field a C team next year. So.
Well, just on top of that, we played 52 players this year for South Africa. That's what Russia has done.
And it doesn't feel like different teams.
Not at all.
It's a system of rugby that is just insanely good. Can we get better?
That's what I said last week. Rassie has got the nicest headache ever. I mean, now we're worried about Ethan Hooker on the wing, and all of a sudden Kane and Moody's playing wing.
I was going to ask, where do you put Kanan? Where do you put him? I love him in centre. I love him at fullback. I love him at wing.
That's exactly my point. He's got such a lovely headache to have there. And the thing is, I think it's going to come down to the week trainings. Whoever performs better on the Thursday, Rassie's going to be like, you're going to make my beer taste sweeter. You starting on Saturday.
Oh, man. I love this. Can you feel it? Can you feel the gloat? It's an energy that's just flowing across the world. No, they earned this one. There is no gloating when you fight as hard as you do for a gritty win like this. And as you pointed out, it could have been 40, it could have been 50 with the potential to attack. So kudos to Ireland for providing, I think, the biggest challenge we faced all year. And I know I'm just rubbing it in even more. I'm going to say Merry Christmas. I'm just going to say Merry Christmas. Now, Boka, we absolutely love you.